Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Counting Blessings, and I am Jen, and I'm so excited to talk to you about my first update of my school year for the 2020-2021 school year. Our first day of school this year was July 6th. Yes, you heard me correctly, July 6th. My husband and I, along with my son, discussed this last February, or this past February, about doing a year-round homeschool, and we decided to go ahead and give it a shot. So our first day of school, excuse my son, who's also in the room with me while I'm filming this. You may hear him giggle. So anyway, we decided to do a year-round homeschool, and that means that we started our school year this year on July 6th. My son became a 4th grader officially that day. Yay! And we have successfully finished our first school week this year. And I want to give you a highlight about kind of what we're doing this year and hopefully give you quarterly updates on how things are going. I'm hoping my channel grows and people want to hear about that. And so we started homeschooling this year, July 6th, for our homeschool year for year-round. My husband and I decided back in February, and my son was on board with it, to try a year-round homeschool. So our plan is to start in July, end in May, and have the full month of June off next year. That also means we get to take weeks off at a time throughout the school year and still get our number of days in that we are required to by the state. So I'm also hoping to give you quarterly updates on how our school year is going, what we've changed, what's working, what did not work, and why we changed or adjusted what we were doing. And also want to let you know what we're starting off with this year. This year, the one thing that I am trying to do my best on that I hadn't priorly done is having my son write in a journal every morning as part of his morning work. I don't have a morning basket per se, but I have a plan for him every morning, and it's starting off with the morning journal, talking over with some things to review from the day before, and doing a read aloud. I have a few books that I'm looking at to do morning read alouds with. I forgot the name of it. One's about a zoo adventure type chapter book, but that's in the future. Right now I am doing 101 favorite stories from the Bible. It's really simple. It's a very small and short little excerpt of a biblical story within it, and then it also gives me a few questions and a Bible verse to talk about and have actually conversation about the Bible story. And then you can also go and look up exactly where in the Bible it is. It's just kind of giving you like an overview of it. I really love it. It was part of his English curriculum last year that we used a little bit because he was struggling in English, and I made an adjustment. And it came with it, and we didn't finish reading it all, so I just kind of started it back over it. We're going to go through it for a little while. So I'm really excited about that. And then he does a journal entry, as I said before, and it's just, I write a statement sentence up on the whiteboard and he finishes it, or he takes a question sentence and answer it in sentence form and just gives me his thoughts. I'm really wanting him to be able to put his opinions and his thoughts out on paper and get it to where he's able to, I guess, connect with the written word with other people. Also on this video, I wanted to give you an overview of the curriculum that I'm using. I am using every single subject except for one, handwriting and maybe keyboarding, but I'll get to that in a minute. I'm using the same company. I am using BJU Press for all of his curriculum. I have used this curriculum for English before. I've used it for spelling every year so far. I have used it for social studies and science, and I just like it because it's everything there is what I need. I've got a lesson plan, it's got instructional aids, it's got helping things, it's got review sheets if you want to print them off, it's got everything. So I'm going to give you an overview by showing you some things that I'm using, and if you are interested in an actual full walkthrough or any of the curriculum choices that I have chosen, please message down below and maybe I'll do a more in-depth walkthrough. I'm just going to show you today the teacher textbook, I guess, and the teacher things that come along with it. And soon I'll let you see my son's actual homeschool binder, what he has every day and all of his stuff. But today, let's get to it. I'm going to grab the camera and we're going to go through a more of an overview shot. Welcome back. There's my lovely coffee. But I just want to give you an overview of what I've chosen to use this year. I'm going to use it from, I'm doing my best here holding it by the camera. In the state that I live in, I've got to teach 5 of the core subjects reading, writing, math, science, and social studies. And like I said before, I'm using all of my curriculum is coming from BJU. And this right here is English. So between English and this year I got something different. Their reading curriculum. I'm going to combine these two together, and that's going to be our language arts, along with actually learning to write. So our English. I'm going to just give you a little overview. But you get a book, assessments, assessment keys, and everything you need is in here. As you can see, this is the second edition for this book, and it's got the table of contents. We start off with sentence structure, and every other chapter goes from information to a writing section. So chapter 2 is about writing a personal narrative. Then we go to chapter 3, which is about nouns. And then once again we go into another writing about a friendly letter, and so on and so forth. But I really do love this type of textbook because it has lessons already in it. Like if you open up to just a random page here, if you see, I'm going to back out just a little bit. No, actually, I'm going to come in a little bit here. I am so sorry. I'm really bad at this. But lesson 6, it gives you all the information you're going to need, key information about it, and then you have what is found in their book. You actually have just a smaller view in it and gives you the answer keys along with any notes and stuff that you may need to know. But that's in every single one of their books. And this is the teacher one. So that's the English one that I'm using. And then their reading one that I'm also pairing with that to get his language arts curriculum. This is their newest one. This is the 3rd edition. It's the most newest one. And it's got 3 parts into it. We're also doing a novel study. And we got 3 novels that come with it. But in it, it's just the same thing. You have your lesson plans, and it gives you an overview beforehand. We're doing a poem. The very first one's called Dreams, and it talks about things. And before each new selection of reading, it gives you a before reading, so you can get a little bit more background on the genre, the author, questions you can talk about during the reading, and then you are given an excerpt, the same thing that they see in their book as well, just like with the English. So, guiding questions on the side, and all of their books are this way. And this is part of the reason why I love it, because as a working mom, I love the fact that I can just sit there and grab the text, read over a week's worth of lessons, get things that I need to get together, and it's almost open the book and go. And I love that. So that's going to be kind of his English, language arts, reading and writing that we're going to talk about. And this year for math, I also did Blue Jay Press. Prior to this, I was using a Becca Math, which was really, really good, and he did well with. But because I wanted to streamline most of the things that we're using, and if you notice, it says with CD-ROM. All of the textbooks that I get from BJU has a CD that you can access extra teaching tools and stuff that you can use. And it's also got free lesson plans and overviews with everything. And this is the math. And in the math, we're following along a storyline of, I think it's Captain Bailey, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, I think it's Captain Bailey. It's got teaching tips, review features, things that help you understand how to use the lessons plans and how to be very, to take advantage of everything this book has to offer. And it's broken up for the math. We have the scope and sequence. It lets you know the lessons on one side, I'm so sorry, the skillful focus, what you're looking at in each lesson, and some practice reviews and stuff that maybe you need to do. And I also like, because it's got a little bit of, I don't know if that's coming in right or not, but it says Bible truths. And then officially, we just start with addition and subtraction, just kind of reviewing a lot of things and the whole numbers. And then we go into, I think, fractions in chapter 3. Then we really dive deeper into the multiplication, because we touched on that last year with our 11th math curriculum. We have more decimals, more multiplication, and it just goes into detail on all of that. But once you get into, yeah, see, we have the overview of the treasure hunter right there. And that's the first thing we did for our first day of math was we read this little excerpt, and it talks about Captain Bailey's, sorry, I just kind of blanked on that. It talks us to about his log entries of his adventure that he has going in search of some sunken treasure. But it ties everything in. And in every chapter there's a little yellow box right there that gives an excerpt of something that may be able to tie in with his journal entry or his log entry into everything. But once again, you have what they see in their book along with the answers, and then an overview of the lesson, and it goes step by step what you need to do, and also tells you what, please focus, yeah. If this is out of focus, I am really sorry, everybody. Really, really sorry. But it has like the teacher material, the student material, and everything that you would need in the lesson. And it goes throughout. And once again, assessments are supplied along with the answer keys for everything. I just really, really like this. You get to see what they're seeing on their textbook pages. And also with the CD, you are given extra things to help explain what you are doing. They also have a social studies curriculum that I am using, and once again, instead of flipping through it, this is pretty much the same thing. It's got like the lesson, the overview, the chapter that they see in their textbook, and information. Everything is there, and each of their handbook comes with a student work text. So they get a textbook and a work text. Same thing with the science. It's pretty much the same thing. Science 4, pretty much the same thing. You have there what they see in their textbook, and then all the teaching aids to the side. And again, with this one you also get, actually with all of them you get, no, with these two specifically, you get an actual textbook and a work text that they can write their answers in. And it goes throughout their chapter. So it's really, really awesome. And then finally, I have the spelling book that has the same layout, and it helps you understand what you need to do for day 1, day 2, and what's in their workbook, day 3, day 4, and day 5. Spelling lessons are depicted on a 5-day-a-week work. Kind of like you introduce the lesson on day 1, spelling test on day 5. So that's pretty much all the curriculum that I'm using from Blue J Press. Yeah, BJU Press. I'm so sorry. But I really like their curriculum. I like that, so sorry. I really, really do like that everything is in the book. I don't have to go searching. And yes, with every book there is a CD for extra teacher toolkit. If you see that, yep, teacher toolkit. Pop that in my computer, print out some extra pages, and it just helps me out a bit. Now, the only curriculum that I'm not doing from Blue Jay Press, I said, was handwriting. My son is in the 4th grade, and yes, we're a little bit behind, but we are learning cursive writing. And I'm using a reason for handwriting. We use this his 1st and 2nd year for handwriting, because when we pulled him out of the public school system, his handwriting was horrendous. His pencil control was not even there. Letters were not formed. It was not very good. So I spent 2 years getting him to a point where I felt that he was very confident in the letters that he was writing, because I wasn't going to teach cursive until he was confident in making the print lettering. So this year we are doing handwriting. In this one, it gives us, it's got attention to parents and teachers, kind of like what it's used for, and then it goes through daily lessons. And when we do this, it's kind of like a lesson a day. And the way I went through it, and I pulled everything out of a book and hole punched it. So everything is in one binder for him. But it goes through and it has, I'll go through like a full lesson for you. Sorry. But it's got lesson 2's right here. Lesson 1, because of the way I hole punched it, because if I hole punched it on this side, if you see, I would have punched into a lot of things. I had more room to punch it on this side, so that's what I did. So this is actually lesson 2. Lesson 1 starts with the letter A, and it shows them the shape of the letter as they write it, and it gives them the beginning dot and the end dot, or just the beginning dot. So it shows you where you start your letters. And it goes through the entire alphabet, just learning to write each letter. You are also given extra pages of just this type spacing that they can practice on extra. But it goes through every single letter from A to Z. Yep, see? 25 and 26 letters, 26 lessons. Okay, that's when you're mastering or getting better with writing each letter. And then it goes into, see, this is the extra practice sheet. It says practice your name. And then it asks you to practice the entire thing. But I really, really love this. And then it also goes into lesson 1 on the second part is you're actually putting letters together into words and stringing them together. And these are all the words they'll see in the very last Bible verse. You can see it's like copied there. It's kind of like trace over. And then on day 5, they use one of these sheets right here. And they can write whatever Bible verse they want to on it and color it. And you can keep it. So that's the handwriting curriculum that we're going to use. We are also looking to do a keyboarding class this year so he can learn to use the Quirk keyboard. I'm going to flip us around. So yeah, I wanted to flip you around and let you know there's one more school subject or curriculum that I want to use. I'm still in the searching stage for that right now. And that is a keyboarding type of class. I'm looking on the internet maybe for a free website or something like that. And if you have any ideas or any suggestions that I should try, I just want him to get comfortable using all 5 fingers correctly on a keyboard. So that's one area, that's one area that I'm still in search of a good curriculum for him to use. And we're going to start the handwriting and the keyboarding after September. Because we're going on vacation in September. I am so excited that we still get to go to the beach. You have no idea. The Corona summer has not been kind to us. My husband's had to work harder than normal. I didn't have a job, kind of, sort of, in the summertime. So it was just, we're ready to have some sense of normalcy. And I think the beach and the fact that we started school again and I'm back at work, that things are getting there. They're not what they were. They're never gonna be what they once were. Never. I don't think so. But that's just my opinion. Anyhow, enough of that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm also coming up with a flip through of my son's binder, what he takes with him everywhere. If we decide to go to the park and do school, he has one binder and everything is in it. So I'm gonna flip that through you so you can see what's in his binder. And I'm also at the same time going to show you what's in my binder. So with my lesson plan book and my binders keep everything in. So until next time, bye. And don't forget, if you are interested, please subscribe and help me grow my channel. Bye, you guys.